2021 NBA Finals are here between the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks, and it's going to be close, and we are set for an historic finals matchup. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on Manav Sports Talk. I'm your host Manav, and in this video I'm doing my preview and prediction for the 2021 NBA Finals between the number 3 seeded in the East Milwaukee Bucks and the number 2 seeded in the West, the Phoenix Suns. Starting tomorrow, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Time, is Game 1 in Phoenix, and this is a matchup that we really did not expect, coming into the NBA playoffs, that it was going to be Suns versus Bucks, something that honestly we did not really think would happen. But straight up, first thoughts is that this is between really the two second best teams in each conference, is the Bucks, who honestly, I'm going to say it honestly, they're lucky to be here, because if KD's toe wasn't on the line in that Game 7 against the Nets in the conference semis, the Nets would be here at this point, pretty much. But here are the Bucks. They made it here. Give credit to them. Exercised their playoff demons, and here they are in the finals for the first time since 1974. And the Suns, pretty much they were really, really good. Top in the West. Honestly, they're probably the best team in the West. So, it's kind of interesting to see these two teams go at it. And the Suns made the finals for the first time since 1993 with Charles Barkley. So, two new faces in the finals. This is something that I want to see, something that, other fans may not like. They wanted to see Nets versus Lakers. I understand that, but come on, these are new faces, new matchup. Should be a lot of fun and give guys a new chance to win that ring. It's going to be so much fun to see this matchup. It's going to be a lot of tight finishes throughout. And one thing I want to talk about is Scott Foster. He's going to be the official for the NBA Finals, and he's been the ref for CP3. Has lost 11 consecutive NBA playoff games with Scott Foster refereeing. So we'll see what happens, honestly. Going off the season series, the Suns won the season series 2-1, but both the wins are only by 1 point, including an overtime game. And Drew Holiday missed one game, as well as Dante DiVincenzo was in both games. So a little bit different, obviously regular season and different players, but the two teams we have here, not honestly the best offensively. They ranked 10th and 11th offensively in these playoffs. The Suns and Bucks, though, they're ranked 1st and 2nd defensively. The Bucks are number 1, the Suns are number 2 in defense in these playoffs, having combined to just allow 106 points per 100 possessions. This is almost 10 fewer than the other 14 teams allowed. So this top defense wins championships, is coming to fruition here between both of these teams. And basically, to me, the Suns are really a more balanced team compared to the Bucks, honestly, because of offensively, I feel like the Suns are a little bit more stronger. But we'll see. And then this transition defense, both teams really, really great, allowing less than a point per transition possession. And they also rank 1st and 2nd in opponent field goal percentage in the restricted area. And Phoenix also ranks 1st in opponent field goal percentage on shots outside the paint. So both teams are really great defensively. I feel like the Suns are a bit underrated defensively, but it's going to be whoever can get the most stops defensively is really going to decide this series. Who can play that defense? Can the Bucks try and stop this high-powered Suns backcourt and get enough stops defensively? Will really decide these NBA Finals. And now, when we're starting off with the Phoenix Suns, why this team is just incredible. They're the best winning percentage in these playoffs, 2nd in field goal percentage, 8th in three-point percentage, 2nd in defensive rebounding, and 2nd in assists. These Suns, they just play good. They don't make many mistakes, and they have all the ingredients that you need to win an NBA championship, and that's a scorer in Booker, leader in Chris Paul, big man in DeAndre Ayton, 3-and-D guys like Jay Crowder and Mikal Bridges, a bench, and a great coach in Monty Williams. And this young team, they don't get tired, and they play freely. They're also 2nd in free throw percentage, and 4th in rebounding overall, and 5th in turnovers, so they don't make silly mistakes, which is why this team is just so good. They don't do the stupid things. That's how they've been getting it done throughout these playoffs. To me, DeAndre Ayton is such a big key in this finals. DeAndre Ayton, we know, is a game changer, the number 1 overall pick for the Suns. has 16 points per game and 12 rebounds and a block in the postseason, 71% from the field. He runs a great pick and roll with Chris Paul and D Book, and he's a very good paint presence, and he needs to make that impact in the paint. He has to get those rebounds offensively and defensively, considering the Bucks are the best rebounding team in the playoffs, and he needs to give the team extra possessions. And I think he's going to have success in the pick and roll, high screen and roll in these finals because of Brook Lopez. To me, I'm not going to take shots at Brook Lopez, but to me, I think he's kind of a bit clumsy when I watch him. But I think DeAndre Ayton can use his size, physicality to really kind of rough up Brook Lopez. This is very important. And he's been playing well throughout the playoffs, and he cannot get blocked by Lopez. He has to throw it down over Brook. And against the Bucks, he's averaging 19 points per game, 71% from the field. So if DeAndre Ayton can really dominate the paint, the Suns really have a huge advantage right there. And then talking about the other pieces on the Suns, mainly in the forwards, Mikal Bridges has been so good, 11 points per game, 35% from 3, and he's a good defender, and he has 18 points per game and 80% from 3 versus the Bucks. So he likes playing against Milwaukee. And then Jay Crowder, these two are the two forwards. Jay Crowder, 3-and-D guy. You know, the 3 ball is finally going in for him. But versus the Bucks, he's only averaging 33% from 3 and 8 points per game. So Jay Crowder will have to play defense, obviously, without Giannis for the first couple of games, let's say. It should be easier for him. We'll see how he can do it. But he has to make defense, and I think he will be much better in this time around. And then Cameron Payne off the bench. This is where I think the Suns can really step it up. They have such a great bench. Way better than the Bucks. Cameron Payne shooting around 36% from 3, 10 points off the bench, 94% from the free throw line. And then you have other guys like Dario Saric, and we'll get into the other guys off the bench. They can all make threes, so which is why they can barrage you down with those 3-pointers offensively, and that's going to be really important for the Suns. And then Torrey Craig, he's played for both teams, so he's already gotten a ring. Congrats to Torrey Craig. But you know, he can hit those threes. He's played for the Bucks before. He has that experience. He's been important, making some big shots. And then Cam Johnson is going to be ready for this finals. He's averaging 8 points per game, but can shoot 45% from 3. So the Suns have so many different kinds of shooters. You think that those 3-point shots are going to, you know, go in the majority of the time, which is why the Suns are in an advantage here as well. And then the best backcourt here, Devin Booker and Chris Paul. This is some kind of backcourt you got. And Chris Paul really went insane in that Game 6 against LA. 41 points and 8 assists. And he closed it out. And we know what he brings, leadership, calmness, ready for the moment. And, you know, he tells others what they need to do, and he gets it done, flat out. And he's probably going to be guarded by Drew Holiday. So he'll have to use his experience to crack that, you know, all-NBA defender that Drew Holiday is. And I think he's going to figure it out. He's going to figure out that defense. He's going to be able to draw his fouls. I think CP3 will be able to lead this team to that against the number 1 defense in the playoffs against the Bucks. And then Chris Paul has about 18 points per game, 47% from the field, 9 assists, 41% 3, 91% from the free throw line. So he's been shooting outstanding. And versus the Suns, versus the Bucks, he's been even better. 25 points per game, 50% from the field, 55% from 3, and also 10 assists. And then Devin Booker, man, in the playoffs, he's shown why he's a superstar. 27 points per game. You know, those three-point percentage and field goal percentage have dropped, but he's still one of the best scorers in the NBA, and he makes it look easy with instant scoring, and that's what you need in the playoffs, and he can run that pick and roll. And versus the Bucks, he's been very, very good as well. 27 points per game, 5 assists, 44% from the field. Not shooting good from 3, but with Booker, he's got to be more consistent, and I think he's going to step up. D-Book knows the occasion, he's going to step it up. You know, he's going to be playing against one of the best defenses in the NBA. Especially, I think PJ Tucker might be on him, so he has to be physical. You know, I might expect a rough day or two from Booker occasionally, but I think he will get it done most of the time. And now the Bucks, they're second in win percentage with 12-5 record in these playoffs, third in field goals made, 8th in field goal percentage, 10th in 3-pointers made, so they're not really shooting too great, only 31%. But they're first in offensive, defensive, and rebounding overall. But they're 12th in turnover, so they do turn this ball over. And that's what the Suns do best, capitalize on the opponent's mistakes, because they don't make them mistakes themselves, which I think would be a huge difference maker here if the Suns can really take those points off turnovers here. And then Chris Middleton, it's really going to come down to him. Because to me, Giannis is going to miss game 1, probably miss game 2. Because they're going to miss his paint dominance and size defensively as well. So Chris Middleton has got to put on a performance. Because the thing with Chris Middleton is, he's so inconsistent. He could be a 10-day street player, 10-day contract street player one day, and then he could be the GOAT all of a sudden. So it's kind of so weird. But Middleton is averaging 23 points per game, 34% from 3, 89% from the free throw line, 43% from the field, 8 rebounds, 5 assists in the playoffs. And he had 32 points in Game 6, and he dominated that third quarter. So, I mean, he can turn it on at any moment, but he's got to be more consistent if they're going to have any chance. I just don't know if he can do that. And then Giannis, he's going to be missing Games 1 and 2. Thing is, versus the Suns, he's been incredible. 40 points for Game 4, assists, 60% from the field, 84% from the free throw line, Giannis, and 10 rebounds. Thing is, that's only 2 games versus the Suns, but either way, Giannis would feast off this team if he were able to do it, according to the stats. I think it's a huge advantage for Giannis overall. But, I mean, they're going to really miss him in those first 2 games probably. But when he comes back, I think Bucks can definitely win a lot of games. We'll see if, Giannis at this stage, it kind of is unlucky that he's missing these games because, the Bucks would have a really good chance with him, playing all those games. So we'll see. But Chris Middleton is now, the main guy on this team without Giannis for some time. And he has to get it done. I don't know if he can. And then Drew Holiday, again, he is also pretty inconsistent. He had 6 turnovers, but he had 27 in Game 6 of the East Finals with 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 blocks, and 4 steals. A complete game from the point guard. Averaging 18 points per game, 6 rebounds, 8 assists in the playoffs. Not really shooting too great at all. So, he's got to be a point guard at his best, and he's got to start hitting those threes more. I think he will play better. I don't think it's going to be good enough and not consistent enough. And then Brook Lopez, I think he's really good offensively. I think Aiden might have some trouble guarding him, defensively. Because Lopez, he can shoot those threes. He can drive to the paint, shooting pretty good, 35% from 3, which is solid. And 14 points per game, 57% from the field, 88% from the free throw line. And defensively, he has had 2 blocks. So, but I think Aiden has the advantage there. I think DeAndre Aiden can really dominate here. But Brook Lopez has to try and stop him. It's going to be a tough task, but to me it favors Ayton. We'll see what happens. And then PJ Tucker. You cannot forget about Tuck. He's probably going to be on Booker, probably, I would think. But he has to hit his threes. I mean, the Suns' offense is lethal. If the Bucks cannot hit their threes, they're not going to win. And PJ Tucker has to start making them from the corner, shooting 29% from 3. And he's got to play his aggressive defense because they need to keep up offensively. Because if they cannot guard the Suns enough, they got to keep up offensively. It's going to be tough. Because if it's a shootout, I favor the Suns. And now, Bobby Portis. He's so important because he's filling in for Giannis. Can he get it done as a huge difference maker? He had 22 points, 8 rebounds, 3 steals in Game 5. He had 12 points in Game 6. And he can also hit threes, which is probably better than Giannis at one stage, shooting 31% from 3 in the playoffs. But he has to make a difference in defense because Giannis, Defensive Player of the Year, I don't know how he can match that. That's a difference he will have to lose. And then Brent Forbes off the bench, 38% from 3. And then he has to make his shots, to keep up with the Suns shooting. And then Jeff Teague, he's emerged a little bit. If he can start making shots, that would really, really make a huge difference in this game. So I broke down all aspects of the NBA Finals for you guys. And we're going to start off with scoring. I think it's pretty much a tie. Chris Paul and Booker, they're pretty consistent. And I think the Suns, they can really score easily with Aiden, but the Bucks, with Middleton, I think can really score with Lopez as well. So I think it's kind of split there. But shooting-wise, the Suns, they have a lot of three-point shooters. I think they shoot better overall from 3, as well as from the free throw line, especially if Giannis comes back. Drew Holiday doesn't shoot good from the free throw line as well. And then defense, the Bucks are the best defense in these playoffs. And then the paint-wise, I think it's kind of a tie. We'll see what happens. Because if Giannis comes back, it will definitely be favoring the Bucks. But, DeAndre Ayton can, I think, dominate over Brook Lopez. We'll see what happens. And then X Factor and leadership, that's Chris Paul. We know that. And then coaching-wise, Monty Williams. To me, he's a better coach than Mike Budenholzer. Play design-wise and stuff like that. And then the backcourt, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, compared to Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, I think it goes to the Suns. Pretty easy to say that. And then the front court, it should go to the Bucks. with Brook Lopez, PJ Tucker, and if Giannis comes back, yeah. So I think those are the table, and you take a look, the Suns are winning at 6-4. So that's another reason to favor the Suns here. So now it's time for the moment you've been waiting for, my prediction for the 2021 NBA Finals, and I've got the Suns in 7. I think the Suns win it in 7 games here. I think the home team wins all 7 games, and the Suns get it done for the first ever NBA championship. So to me, I'm going to go ahead and congratulate the Phoenix Suns ahead of time, and we'll see if I'm right. But to me, it really comes down to a few things here. We're going to start off with the bench. The Suns' bench is so much better. They have more depth and more shooters. I think that's really going to play a part, especially because Giannis is missing. And, probably the first couple of games, they have more depth and they might, be more ready to make shots. The Suns are also way more consistent, shooting-wise. They don't turn the ball over. They don't make those silly mistakes like the Bucks do. The Suns overall in that backcourt, the Chris Paul, they're so more or less consistent. You know what they're going to give you. With the Bucks or Chris Middleton, you have no idea. With Jrue Holiday, you really don't know. And both teams are pretty evenly matched defensively. I think the Suns are much better offensively, and they're almost as good defensively as the Bucks. So I think that kind of evens it out there a little bit. Plus, Giannis is missing the first 2 games, so the Suns, might be better defensively. And they can also hit free throws. I think DeAndre Ayton inside can do some damage. And then, CP3's leadership is that big X factor, something the Bucks really don't have. And that's why I have the Suns winning. So CP3 is going to get his first ring, according to me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please go down, hit the subscribe, enable notifications, hit the like button. Hope you can join my live streams for the finals, and hope to see you in the next video, guys.